So today what I'm going to go over is I'm going to go over using the simplified issue spreadsheet and then
Okay.
go over like the basics of life insurance. And then we'll just kind of end with um, we'll just kind of end with that, just like the basics of life insurance and all that type of stuff, just like life insurance 101, like how to be a successful agent. Okay.
Okay.
So first off, this is the simple issue spreadsheet. Wow, someone changed the color of this. What's the color of this?
I
Um,
did.
okay.
Yeah. Just to highlight the top row.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I love that. Um, so when you come into here, Charlie, these are all our simple issue products that you're gonna have access to. So you'll see these are obviously your term. Now, when you go to the bottom, you'll see your final expense as well. Okay.
Okay.
Term, final expense. So when you're going in, obviously, too, you want to quote someone, you've got insurance toolkits here. You've got that link there. It's already got all the login credentials. Um, you'll obviously want to know your return of premium products. So Americo's got the CBO 100 and the CBO 50. That means cashback option. Cashback option 50 just means 50% of return of premium. Your indexed universal life express can be set up like a return of premium policy. And then you've got, your home protector and term made simple. They do a 75% return of premium. Okay.
Good.
Now you've also got United Home Life. They do a 20-year return of premium. And then Kansas City Life does a 15, 20, 25, 30, like they do a bunch of different returns of premium. This is 100% return of premium. Okay.
Got it.
Now, you're going to want to study these different products, okay, and get accustomed to them and the different e-apps and all that. Americo's goes up to 450,000. Mutual of Omaha's Term Life Express and IUL Express only goes to 300,000. You're not going to write a ton of Foresters. American Amicable's product goes to 500,000. Kansas City Life goes to 300,000, and United Home Life, depending on the age, either goes to 225 or 300. Now, for your other return of premium, non-return of premium products, you've got legal in general or LGA and SBLI. Based on ages, they go up to a pretty solid amount of death benefit. These are the ages the carrier will issue based on like age, and then here's the included riders. So included riders essentially mean like these are just part of what they pay into the premium. The critical chronic terminal. So not all of them have all these riders though. Like if you notice with like AMAM, it doesn't actually include it actually does not. It's different by state. You're just gonna have to vary it by state. Um, Kansas City Life includes all these. United Home Life is just a terminal, and then legal in general is terminal, critical, chronic, whereas SBLI is only terminal and unemployment, and then charitable giving rider. Okay.
Okay.
Now, something that you're gonna want to get accustomed to is you'll go into like the underwriting sheets here, and like for this one, this is a nice general cheat sheet, right? You're gonna want to start understanding like who accepts what, right? Like, the diabetes or these different things. Like you'll be able to study this and look at this real quick, um, and make sure that you use that. Now, you should never be here if the person's had cancer, heart attack, or stroke ever. You do not need to be in a term tab ever. So when you're doing final expense is just a type of underwriting. Okay. FEX means final expense. With this, you've got your different products. These are obviously, a little bit smaller of a death benefit to whole life. And then this shows you obviously your max face amount. If there's a guaranteed issue option, what included riders there are, and what things you can add. Uh, Americo's, I don't think is actually automatically built in anymore. With the accidental, you actually have to add it. Again, you want to study these. Same thing. These are the sheets are at the bottom. Learn the carriers. You should not be when you're 90 days in. There shouldn't be really any. If there might be a couple very specific underwriting questions, but almost every single underwriting question you ask should be like, yep, it's right there. Like I can find it. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
That's really like the basics of it. Understanding underwriting. Like I would study this so much. Like you need to understand, like, first off, understand what term is going to accept and not accept. Understand these, look through it. And then your final expense as well. Final expense, there is a lot of different, things that they'll cover. It's actually almost hard to get to not qualify for final expense. Okay.
Okay.
So let me kind of go into the basics of life insurance. So the basics are, and let me get my handy dandy iPad out. Do you have any questions before I go into this?
No, not yet.
Cool. So basics of life insurance are really this. Okay. So there's really four major uses of life insurance. Okay. Okay. There is, you've got FEX. Okay. And these are the four major uses. Okay. What does FEX mean?
Is that final expenses?
Final expenses. Yes. What else is there? There's IP, which means income protection. Then there's MP / debt, which is
Mortgage protection.
protection. And then the last one is children. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to typically use, like, for income protection, you're typically using a term. For final expenses, you're using a whole life, final expense whole life policy. For mortgage protection, you're probably going to use a term or a return of premium term. Or the last one is, sometimes you do equity protection for an older person, and you'll be using more of a final expense whole life. And then for children, it's just a children's whole life policy. Okay.
Good.
So obviously understanding these, you've got a way to go through the underwriting, right? You understand that. The big thing now and being successful in insurance is this, right? You ever seen like a normal distribution? You ever seen like, like, let's say you've got, there's a great example of this. You've got all these chances falling down, right? This is your calls, and all these things are falling down. And you ever seen these with the little dots?
Yep.
It falls down. Well, guess what? You've got people who are not going to buy anything. They could be free. And then you've got people who will buy everything. %, 10%. What makes the great salespeople from the okay salespeople is they're able to take people in here and convert more of them. Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
But at the absolute worst, you're going to be able to convert 10. Like, you could be a terrible salesperson. You're going to have 10% of people who just lay down sales. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that you be successful? They recommend 200 to 300 dials a day, or 3 to 5 appointments a day. Now, why do I recommend these numbers?
Because the more you do, the more likely you'll be finding people to buy something.
Yeah, let's say you average 3 appointments a week and you work Monday through Friday. You don't even work Saturday. It's 15. Okay. Now, let's say you have 15 appointments you run a week. $4.95. Let's just round that up to 5. Let's do 5 times the average sale price of $1,200. Oh, it's because I had a. Okay, so do the 5 times the average sale sale price of like this. $6,000, okay? So you're gonna take your 6,000, right? You're gonna multiply that by 0.8. This is your what we call your first year commission, your FYC, first year commission, right? $4,800. Okay. So you're gonna take that 4,800. So that's your first year commission. You're gonna get a 75% advance of that first year commission. So you're gonna make this in the full first year. So 0.75. Does this seem like a outrageous monthly income? That's a solid monthly income, right?
Yeah, pretty
This is
solid.
the numbers that it takes to do that. Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So now that we know what that looks like, right? So a couple things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to understand dialing and phone script. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to want to understand underwriting. You should be able to understand underwriting by the back of your hand. My secret to this is know 4 carriers super well. Choose 4, and those are the ones you're going to learn. The ones I'm going to recommend are LBL, KC, KCL, KC Life, UHL. Okay. And then I would also, if I was you, learn LGA. You've got term right here. And then you've got final expense. You get between these 4 companies, you're going to be able to basically cover everyone. Okay.
Got it.
Now, your next step is study sales script. You're going to want to know that sales script by like the back of your hands. You want to be able to really fully understand it in the sales process. Okay. Action. Making sure you're making the correct amount of dials daily. You're going to get some laydowns. But if you do, let's say your consistency looks like this, right? This is dials. Let's say one day it's this, and then the next day it's this, and the next day it's this, and the next day it's this, and then this. What do you think your results are going to do?
Oh, you're gonna be a little fluctuated, but
This.
yeah.
You want your results to do this. Now, here's the crazy part about this. If this is what it looks like, right? And I'm going to say consistency and discipline. If it looks like this, right? Like let's say days, dials, right? If it looks like this, right? You might think your results are actually going to look like this. They're actually going to go up. And why is that? Do you know why that is?
Because you've built consistency and you know what to do, and then you can kind of push it to the next level even.
Referral collection, my friend.
Okay.
Okay. That's 6. So you're going to go to 6. You're going to learn referral collection. Really going into your 30th day, you're gonna start learning to collect referrals. Try to collect 5 to 10 refs a week. If every lead you sold, right, you were able to sell 3 people off that one lead, dude, your cost per acquisition goes way down. Cost per acquiring a client. And then 7, track everything. What do I mean by that? Dials,
Yep.
appointments run, appointments sold, appointments set. From that, you're going to really be able to tell where you're at. Okay.
Okay.
So over the next week, right, what are you going to really start? You're going to start understanding the dialing and phone script. You're going to work with Nick to dial and start getting better at actually getting and setting appointments, right?
Yep.
While you're doing that, you're going to understand the underwriting. You're going to understand these 4 carriers. By next week, I should be able to ask you questions on these 4 carriers, and you should be able to answer them very quickly. Okay. You're going to study your sales script. You're going to understand the script that he gives you, and you're going to be able to essentially say it verbatim. Okay. And then it's going to be action, 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 and just continue to have consistency and discipline. Then, after your first 30 days, we're going to work on referral collection. And again, you're going to be tracking everything. You should know every single day. What do your dials look like? And I can send it so you actually put it. I have a KPI tracker. I can have that sent to every day to you, or I can just send you the link. You're going to track that. And you're going to be able to, okay, I made 250 dials every single day, or I made only 100 day at this day, or that. You're going to be, this is how you're going to be good. Okay.
Okay.
Don't overcomplicate it, bro.
Yep.
So go through. Now, when we go back into the, right, that PFS agent folder that I've got for you guys, right? So let's go back a little more. You in the agent folder, you got your carrier brochures, you got your comp guide, you got everything in here. You got the values of who Syndicate is, different email templates for people who want to be emailed. You got your income calculator. So if you want to know how much you want to make, you just put your information in and you can see how much you want to make and what the numbers look like. Okay. You got your product cheat sheets, which is just that simplified issues spreadsheet. You got some different sales training. This is the actual NEPQ book that Jeremy Lee Minor. You've got your different scripts, and then obviously team state licenses. This is what person has what license, and obviously like this shows you the cost of everything. So there's a lot of good stuff in there, and utilize it. Between that, you're gonna learn a lot, and then we'll obviously continue to give you guys, more training throughout the week. We'll give you script training. We're going to give you training on Fridays and mindset training. And on Mondays, we're going to do another sales training. So you're going to continually develop. What gets most agents is they don't want to do the action that's put into it. Okay. They don't want to take the action and actually learn the underwriting, right? Right off the bat, what I say, you should not, what if someone has cancer, heart attack, or stroke, what place should they not be looking at?
In term, right?
Exactly. You're already starting to get it. So that's going to be all you really need to do to be successful, man. It's not this long, drawn out thing. What are the 4 major uses of life insurance?
Children, mortgage protection, final expenses, and whole life, right? Income protection. Yeah.
So it's just understanding those different things. And once you understand that, right, like you'll be able to ask those questions. Okay. So like, what is, Charlie, you said that, obviously you want to make sure the mortgage is covered, but like you said that your husband makes way more, like whatever, right? You've got to be able to create the need. And if you know what the product covers, right, then you can create the need. Obviously, as you continue to develop, we'll get into the index universal life. We're going to get into the other types of products like infinite banking concepts. We can show you how to do annuities, but you're never going to get to that point if you can't sell term and whole life really well first.
Mhm.
Okay,
Sense.
cool. Well, that's really the kind of the basics, and then again, continue to do more of that training.
Yeah, so